So Nalyssa Smith has not changed in any way as a player since last year. She is the exact same player, but she is no longer the number 2 draft pick on the team who drafted her. She no longer has that crutch that teams are going to be like, you know what, maybe we're not going to go and foul her. We're not going to cut her because like she was our number 2 pick. She's a good young talent and she had a good first couple of years in the WNBA. She's after having a down year, and I'm not expecting much from her this year. And the Fever or the Wings fans have already turned on her. I think they've realized, you know what, it's no longer just the Fever was not the right place. Stephanie White was not the right coach. There are obvious flaws in her game that, unless she is the number 1 option, I don't know how much longer she lasts in the league. And it's kind of a sad one because, look, by all accounts, Nalyssa Smith is a great person. And, like, it's still, that doesn't matter. We're talking basketball here. She still is an absolute non-factor on the defensive end. Like, she's still an absolute non-factor. And you cannot be a non-factor on defense and be without being the literal best offensive player imaginable. And she is a decent offensive player. So if we saw the game yesterday, if you watched the game yesterday for the Dallas Wings, or 2 days ago, for the Dallas Wings against the Minnesota Lynx, and the Dallas Wings decided they made a mistake that a lot of young coaches do make, and they kind of went away almost from what was working because they wanted to get, say, Hines Allen a bit more involved in the offense. And she did. Like, second half, if you're looking at this, where is it? Hines Allen, 2 of 3. She got a little bit more involved. However, what the Dallas Wings tried to do was they said, you know what? We've kind of got Fee under control. We're going to switch Nalyssa Smith onto her. And it just did not work. It was not smart. It was a really poor coaching decision. And there are times where I don't blame Nalyssa Smith. But, like, there are also times where I'm like, you can't expect minutes. She's just not good enough. She's not good enough. Like, she is directly responsible for about 12 points conceded. She scores 6. Like, I would assume that she is a net. Like, again, minus 11 and a 15-point game, but she was on down the stretch. There was a stage where her minus was as bad as the team's. Like, it's really hard. I don't understand how you can play Nalyssa Smith. Like, Tiara McCowan is at least a big body and draws fouls, I guess. Like, she can just kind of change it. Again, Tiara McCowan should be a situational player, like 10 minutes a game. But I'm also going to be honest, like, I don't know if Nalyssa Smith is a WNBA player. Like, I think she's going to dominate in overseas leagues, but how long until we start saying the negatives outweigh the positives? And I don't like saying that. I don't like saying that about any player. But, like, how long until that is the narrative that, you know, she can play, she does positive things, but the negatives outweigh the positives. And players get a lot of leeway in the WNBA as they get older. In the NBA, a lot of people get leeway that were high draft picks based on potential. But in the WNBA, players get a lot of leeway because they were good in college. Like, Tiara McCowan was exceptional in college, so she's gotten a max contract out of it. But, like, for Nalyssa Smith, she picked the worst year to have Caitlin Clark come in. Like, if the Fever don't win the lottery last year, like, who do they bring in then? They bring in at number 1. Who do they take at number 2? Do they take Rakia? They probably take Rakia Jackson to come in at the 3. If they get the number 2 pick, they probably take Rakia Jackson. They don't win the lottery. And let's say the Sparks get the number 1 pick, and suddenly the Sparks have Caitlin Clark and Cam Brink. But, like, and if you're saying Cam Brink, I mean, if you take Rakia Jackson, inevitably Cam Brink falls to 4. But yeah, it's a mad like chain of events. But still, like Nalyssa averages 12 points per game. The Fever are the worst team in the WNBA again, or one of the two worst teams in the WNBA again. People are talking about Nalyssa Smith like she's a decent young player. The Fever have a double-digit scorer coming into a free agent, take her fourth option, and she's getting ready for a near max deal. And the problem is, I think she could be a good stats bad team player. The problem is, the Wings are a bad team. The talent level in the WNBA is too high. It's too high. Like, we're even looking, like, if you looked at the Phoenix Mercury yesterday, Catherine Westbeld has never played a WNBA game before. She's 27. Sorry, she's not 27. She's 20. She's pushing 30. She's 29. She's older than me. Why didn't she was 27? She's older than me. This is her first year in the WNBA. She spent this long out of the league. She was a, and you might, anyone saying, oh, you know, Nalyssa Smith won an Addy. Well, so did Catherine Westbelt at Notre Dame. She comes in straight away, 3 of 5, 2 of 3 from 3, comes out with 5 boards, is a net positive for her team, plus 16. So it's never too late. It's never too late. But for Nalyssa Smith, it's just, it was why I was so worried watching her in China. Like, if you ever listen to any of my videos where it's like, oh, she's scoring 25 points, and I'm like, the problem with Nalyssa Smith in China isn't that she's scoring, it's how she's scoring. The problem was how she was scoring. She was scoring in isolation post touches where she was allowed to take 2, 3, 4 dribbles and go through players. Like, she has the spin move, shoot over somebody down. But I'm sorry, like, she's a good, tough shot maker. Tough shot makers are not, like, tough shot makers is fine if you're the number one option. The problem is that, like, I don't think she's ever going to be a number one option. Like, for her sake, I was hoping that she ended up on the Valkyries. But even the way the Valkyries are playing, I don't think it would suit her either. Like, you're living in hope that she ends up, like, if I'm Liz, if I'm anyone around Liz Smith, you are living in hope that she ends up getting drafted by an expansion team. Because if she gets taken by an expansion team, it's like, she can be a number 1, number 2 option. Because, let's be real, she can still put the ball in the basket. And the Valkyries were as smart an expansion team as there's been with the talent they brought in. But one of those 2 expansion teams next year, like, if you're Nalyssa, you are hoping that they take you in the expansion draft from Dallas. Because let's be real, they're going to be able to protect, 6 players? They're going to protect Dejanay, Hines Allen. So they're going to protect Dejanay, Arike, Paige, Segrist. That's 4. And then Isaiah James. And they might, depending on Ty Harris, they think she's going to stay. They might just take Isaiah James and Quinnerly. And then you just kind of hope. You have to live in hope that you get taken by one of those 2 expansion teams, which they probably will. And with that being the case, maybe she'll be a number 1 option on a bad team and have a good year, and they might want to give her, like, they might want to pay her decent money to stay, sign a 1-year deal if you're smart, even if it is in 2026. Go sign a 1-year deal and bet on yourself. If you're at one of those teams, if you're not on one of those teams, sign as long a deal as possible. But yeah, it's a real interesting one, because this is a player that a lot of people had really high hopes for coming out of Baylor. But, you know, sometimes it doesn't work out. And I remember saying it, and I was like, when I said Maddie Segrist is better, everyone's like, oh, Nalyssa Smith was the number 2 pick. She's way better than Segrist. And I'm like, I don't care how she played at Baylor. Like, Maddie Segrist led the nation in scoring at Villanova during Caitlin Clark's junior season. Like, Segrist is a better player. Segrist is just flat out a better player right now. She's not a good defender, but she's more active on the defensive end. Like, Nalyssa Smith, I don't think that defense is going to ever get better. And it's not, like, I don't think she has the worst defensive instincts I've ever seen. Like, I don't think the defense is going to get any better. And the problem isn't blocking shots. The problem isn't getting steals. The problem isn't rebounding in space, which she's good at. The problem is that she literally has no idea about anything about space, about, like, the concept of positional defense. And it didn't help she played for Christy Sides, whose defense philosophy was get stops. That didn't help. But still, I hope something changes, but I don't see it changing. Like, I can see very, very soon. Like, there is no actual reason for Maddie Segrist not to be in the starting lineup. Unless, like, there's actually no reason. Like, she is by so much like the second best front court player. Like Hines, Allen, and Seekers, they don't care about how small you are. They can actually move. They can actually move. And that has to be their 4-5 starting. And then with McCowan as a situational player and Smith playing a few minutes, because let's be real, I don't think she's good enough at this point in time. But anyway, I'll see you guys.